Well, hey there YouTube, Travis here. Welcome to my Landcruiser. And this is set up to be the winter 2012 winter beater. I'm very excited about this. Acquaintance of mine from high school needed to sell this to pay rent, so I was able to score it for $850, which was pretty awesome. These Landcruisers usually go for a lot more. Obviously he had beat it up a little bit, as I'll show you here in just a minute, but I knew full well what I was getting into, and oh man, this thing is extremely exciting to me. I've never owned anything this big before, and I've never owned a carbureted vehicle before, so this is my first little experience with that. So this is a 1985 Landcruiser FJ60. And there's a lot of good things about this car, a lot of bad things, but a lot of good things. Mostly that it only has 135,000 original miles. That was pretty cool. It's a 4-speed manual, which is really nice. It'd be really cool though if there was a 5th gear. It could definitely increase the top speed of this guy an awful lot. 4-wheel drive works. I've tested it out. Oh, my apologies, I've been rude. Say hi to my co-pilot here, Eeyore. He accompanies me wherever I go, and I give him high fives whenever I do something sweet. Somebody threw in this, probably in the 90s, this sound system here. It's only CD, but I have a rinky-dink FM tuner right there. And that puts out decent sound. Got these actually kind of decent Pioneer speakers, but they don't fit the covers and the sides there. Oh well. You know, this model did have air conditioning, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it was R12 and never converted over, but the heat works. So this is carbureted, and this one does have a manual choke, which I thought was pretty cool. Oh yeah, check this out. Real gauges, not just idiot lights. I actually like that an awful lot. Alright, well I know you guys want to see the engine, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at this. Man, this thing is beefy. Oh, the license plate is something that I added. Found that in a junkyard, actually. Harry's U-Pull of Hazleton, PA. If anybody's ever been there. Alright, well here she is. This is the 2F. Like I said, this engine is a really strong runner. It does have its drawbacks. It leaks every kind of fluid except for windshield wiper fluid. Maybe it'll come up on camera. There's some faint wisps coming off the top of the radiator there. I've just been topping it off. I'll show you my little survival kit in the back here in just a minute. But like I said, for a beater like this, it's not something that bothers me an awful lot. Fog lights here are actually wired up legally. That's something that surprised me, considering some of the sketchy things on this truck. So when you hit the high beams, the fog lights turn off. That's kind of nice. I like this big bar right here on the front. That's real cool. Makes it look nice and tough. So this features manual locking hubs. I actually kind of like these. I'm just an old-fashioned kind of guy. Tires on it are pretty nice. I don't know a whole lot about them, but they're all in good shape. Don't have any cracking or dry rot or anything like that. Oh man, this thing is definitely a beater for sure, but it's something I've put about 2,000 miles on so far since I've got it, and honestly, it's never left me sitting. So being a Pennsylvania truck, this does have rust, though it's not the end all. I wouldn't say that it's totally rusted out, but the thing about this truck that might have doomed it is what the previous owner did for a cheap lift. So he did this thing where, see that little block right there? That was added in and welded in to kind of give it a cheap lift. And that side doesn't look so great. This side really doesn't look that great. I believe the frame's a little twisted in the rear here. So I might be parting this out come this December, but knowing me, I'm probably just going to end up selling it as a whole. And you know what, that's the beauty of a beater, is that you're never really monetarily invested in it so much that if it ends up not being able to pass inspection, then you know you're only out a few $100 and you get the opportunity to drive something as awesome and beastly as this thing. Let's go ahead and start her up. This is definitely a warm start. Hopefully I'll be able to entertain you guys with a cold start here in a little bit. Let me get my key in here with my other hand. I always clutch in just from driving my other cars, but There she goes. Windshield wipers are for some reason. One of the things I was worried about owning a carbureted car is that it wouldn't be able to idle, but honestly, this thing hasn't really given me any serious problems. It usually likes to hang out between 600 and 900. I had to write down instructions here for my roommates because I live in a single lane driveway on how to start this thing. With the no back pressure from the exhaust, it takes a little bit of coaxing. But yeah, it's got these camo seat covers on it, and actually underneath, the original seats are in really good shape. There's no rips or tears or anything, so I guess they've been doing their job. Oh yeah, I love the sound of this guy. Back here in the trunk, got a decent amount of space. That paneling right there is kind of collapsed. I went ahead and got the Haynes manual, which is not near as useful as I would have liked it to have been. Apparently getting the factory service manuals from Toyota is the way to go. This thing is a beater. I did cheap out and get all the Walmart stuff. Walmart antifreeze, got me a bottle of Walmart 20W50 oil. There's a bottle of brake fluid in there. There she is, somewhere. But yeah. So there you have it, YouTube. Hopefully this thing's gonna be a ridiculous amount of fun in the snow. Alright, YouTube, well, until next time.